Hello. A little change of scenery. I'm in the studio today. So I go to music industry arts here in my hometown, which is basically a program where we learn how to do music stuff for people that love music, right? Engineering, as you can see, the board here, I know how to use it. Producing, songwriting, um, and industry stuff, which is kind of what the avenue I'm taking, right? Events, A&R, all that stuff, right? But basically, I wanted to talk today about dying to thyself. So last night I saw a friend of mine. We haven't seen each other in a couple weeks, so went to the gym, had a good workout, and then we went out to eat. And then we got on the topic of like Christianity, right? He noticed like I took a turn, into really like diving into loving Christ. And he was just asking me questions. I was answering those questions to the best of my ability because he's also a Christian, right? And he had some questions, and I was just answering the best of my ability, right? And he asked me, "Do you think this world is Satan's?" And I said, "Obviously, this world is his playground." And for him, he was like, "Okay, like that makes so much sense because like why it feels so good to do stuff that is bad, right?" And then I kind of explained to him like dying to thyself, and dying to thyself is just, it doesn't just mean doing the hard thing. Dying to thyself is not giving in to what your flesh wants, right? So for example, I used to smoke a lot of weed, and it was kind of difficult giving up the weed, right? Dying to thyself was just me not picking up the blunt and smoking it, right? Dying to thyself is, for example, the example that my boy gave me. My boy gave me an example. He was coming back from a flight, and some guy was just really rude to him, and my boy wanted to lash out and be like, "Don't disrespect me," and just make a scene of the airplane and potentially, get aggressive. But he can't. He was calm, and it bothered him a lot that it was calm. But he knew he did the right thing. And I was explaining to him, it's like, look, yeah, in the moment, it sucked to do the right thing, to be the bigger person. But when you got back from your trip and you landed back home, did you not think that what you did was the right situation, the right way to handle that situation? And especially knowing when you got back home, you're like, wow, if I would have done something, if I would have acted on impulse, acted to my flesh, I would have maybe done something. I would have gotten a lot of trouble in a different country. And it was just this whole explanation where like, I was trying to tell him like, hey, if we're in Satan's playground, which is the world that we live in, right? He's going to make it easy for us to do things that is wrong. He's gonna make it feel good, right? For example, having premarital sex and just sex before marriage and all that stuff, that feels good. Trust me, from experience, that feels good, right? But it's the wrong thing to do. The right thing to do is control your urges, control your lust, and seek the Lord, and wait for marriage. But see, majority of the population, majority of our generation doesn't do that. Like the majority of our generation doesn't do that because it's hard to do, right? No, the majority of our population is obese. The majority of people in the Western hemisphere are overweight because exercise is hard to do. It's the right thing to do, and being healthy and taking care of your temple is the right thing to do, but it's hard to do that. It takes effort, right? Building a business, the majority of people don't build a business. The majority of people work for other people. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, the majority of people live in poverty because getting rich is hard to do. It takes effort. The majority of people don't follow Christ because it's hard to do, right? And I know I'm saying dying to thyself because you're dying to your flesh. You're letting the control of the flesh that the flesh has over you die, right? But one thing I want to explain quickly is when you die to yourself, there's always resurrection, and there's always new life on the other side, right? And I think this is very clear when Jesus died on the cross for us and died for our sins, because he died to himself, and even then, he didn't want to do it. When he was in the garden, he asked the Lord, like, please take my cup of suffering. And the Lord didn't give him an answer. Because that was his destiny. That's what he had to go through, right? So he went through it, and he died to himself. He did what he did not want to do. He did probably the hardest thing that anyone's ever done. The hardest thing that anyone's ever done. And he did what he did not want to do. He could have succumbed to his flesh, which wasn't possible. It wasn't prophesied, obviously. But he could have succumbed to his flesh and not done what is prophesied. But instead, he did what he was supposed to do. He died to himself. He did not do what his flesh wanted him to do. And 3 days later, he resurrected. And that's what I'm trying to explain. Like, there's always new life at the end of something difficult. For example, if I'm working out and I start working out, it's hard. It gets easier, but regardless, even right now, I work out 4 times a day. 4 times a week. And some days I don't want to go to the gym, I still go because I owe it to myself, I owe it to the Lord now, and I'm continuously practicing dying to thyself, right? And if someone's dying to themselves on a consistent basis, they're going to experience new life on a consistent basis. Like my boy explained, when he landed from his flight, and when he got back home and he thought about the situation, he felt good about not reacting, right? Because he knew if he reacted, it probably would have led to something stupid, something completely avoidable, a mess that was completely avoidable. If you're working out, you consistently die to yourself, the new life is the resurrection, or the new life that leads from that happens directly after dying to yourself. Dying to thyself is a healthy body, a healthy mind, right? For me, not smoking weed anymore was dying to thyself. I have a clear mind when I wake up. I'm not groggy anymore. I can think clearly. I feel more motivated to do things. I don't complete tasks throughout the day just so I can smoke a bowl at the end of the night, or light up a blunt at the end of the night, right? And it's these little things that will lead you to do your assignment here on earth and to complete your will that God has given you, and to be successful in whatever avenue that you're in. Even if you work a job, everyone's dying. Everyone has things that they need to stop doing, right? Me, everyone. I'm not perfect. Neither are you watching. So, dying to thyself is a practice, a trait that we need to practice as Christians, as anyone who's trying to be successful is doing the hard thing. But not just because it's hard, but because we owe it to ourselves, we owe it to the Lord, we owe it to Jesus Christ, who died on the cross, who did the ultimate dying to thyself, who did the ultimate sacrifice for us and resurrected, which shows us that if we do the same thing even on a smaller scale, which is maybe not eating that muffin and eating clean for a day, maybe not eating that pack of Skittles, maybe not smoking that blunt, it will lead to new life. And every time that you guys have that urge to maybe eat that piece of cake, not go to the gym, not work on your business, not work those extra couple hours at work for the extra money, maybe smoke that blunt, have that drink, smoke that cigarette. Think of how Jesus died and suffered 40 lashes a couple times, carried his cross up a hill, up a couple miles, and then hung on the cross for us and still resurrected. Think of that whenever you feel an urge to do something you shouldn't be doing. Because the one thing that the gift of discernment when you get closer to the Lord is that when you're about to sin, you're about to sin, and you still do it. So it's just a quick message I wanted to give you guys while I'm in the studio, because I'm working on some projects, and mixing some videos for the event company. It is 11:40 p.m. right now. I want to go home. I missed the Raptors game for this. But this has to be done, because I know the resurrection and the new life at the end of it is me me having a successful event business, me putting in the work, because the Lord always grants that. Always pays it forward. If we're putting in the work, the Lord will bless you. Faith without works is dead. And when the Lord sees you constantly dying to thyself and not succumbing to your own flesh, bro, I promise you, dog, I promise you, life will get better. And you will start to appreciate the little things, and you start liking to do the harder things, because because the resurrection on the other side, the new life on the other side, is so pure and so good, and it feels amazing. It's prolonged, obviously, because a lot of people sacrifice the long term for the short term. A lot of people sacrifice long-term growth for short-form pleasure. And that all comes down to just dying to thyself and not succumbing to your flesh. Because this is Satan's world. You live in Satan's world. The Lord created this, but this is not his per se. This is Satan's playground. So he will make it easy if feel good for you to be doing the wrong thing. So it's just a quick message for you guys to just keep pushing, do the hard thing. Do the thing you don't want to do, but you know is right. There shouldn't be no barrier. Obviously there's a barrier there because the flesh is to overcome, but I promise you, the resurrection of the new life on the other side is so much more worth it than just short-term pleasure. Because that crappy feeling that you feel at the end of sinning is uncomparable to the everlasting joy of knowing that you're becoming a better person day in and day out, and getting closer to meeting the Lord upstairs and spending eternity with him. But just a quick message. Don't listen to me. You don't have to listen to me. You can click off this video. I don't care. I do care, but if you don't care, I don't care. Then again, thank you for guys for watching. I hope you guys like this video. I'm gonna get back to work on the board, do what I gotta do, get these videos out. More videos coming soon. I'm getting busy with it. I'm gonna get a new camera, record a lot more footage, and just kind of switch up the whole YouTube content style. And I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys are here for the ride, because I promise you, you're going to see a lot more of me, and you're going to see a bigger version of me, and you're going to see more content. And this is just the beginning. You guys are, man, just watch. Just watch. I love you guys. Easy.